Located on the site of the former Seagram distillery in Waterloo, Ontario, the CIGI Campus is a hub of academic and research organizations focused on international affairs. In 1857, William Hespeler developed this land and transformed it into a mill, later purchased by Seagrams. Employing 250 people at its peak, the distillery was a major producer and exporter of whiskey. One of its barrel warehouses later became the Seagram Museum and then, in 2003, was converted to the CIGI offices. To create the new CIGI Campus as a vibrant sanctuary for learning and aligned with CIGI's mission required an architectural firm with a bold vision.
The issue of sustainability of the planet in the future seemed to be entirely relevant to the design of this project. And as architects, it is our mandate to do what we can to build green design in all our buildings. The strategies we used were we created an excellent exterior envelope for the building. We created green roofs at multiple levels. And we also used radiant heating and cooling in the slabs, which is a very energy effective way and a very comfortable way to introduce heating and cooling into the building. So we needed to span about 40 feet for the classrooms. Instead of doing that with conventional slab and beams, which would be about 2.5 feet in depth, we used a product that came from Europe, which is called Bubble Deck. It's about 14 inches deep, and the brilliance of it is that in the center of the slab, where you don't require any material for compression or tension, it has these giant golf balls, which are kind of the size of beach balls, and that saves you about 30% of concrete.
The CIGI campus includes CIGI itself, as well as the Balsillie School of International Affairs. The Balsillie School was founded in 2007 and is a three-way partnership among CIGI, the University of Waterloo, and Wilfrid Laurier University. Other occupants of the campus will be announced over time, including a proposed international law program.
A number of parties came together to collaborate and provide generous support that's helped make this campus the reality that you see behind me. Firstly, the City of Waterloo, which provided the land for this project here in the center of the city. Jim Balsillie, who's been a tremendous supporter both for the building itself, but also through the establishment of CIGI, which celebrates its 10th anniversary this year, and for the Balsillie School of International Affairs, which will occupy a large part of this new campus. The governments of Canada and Ontario, which have provided generous support for the building through the Knowledge Infrastructure Program, and our two academic partners here in Waterloo, the two local universities, which have collaborated with us. It's this collaboration and this support that is going to allow us to fulfill a new vision we have for better educating the next generation of policy leaders in Canada, both in government and in the private sector.
The City of Waterloo is an exciting, engaged, multicultural community, rich with international citizens, companies, and organizations. We have been identified as one of the world's most intelligent communities, and by partnering on an innovative project such as the CIGI Campus, we can live up to that title.
So the exciting thing about the new CIGI Campus is, of course, it brings together established policymakers, people with a great deal of experience in international relations and international economics, and leading academic thinkers. And of course, it matches them up with new learners, people who are just entering the field, and of course creates that wonderful dynamic and also allows us to train the future leaders of tomorrow.
The Government of Canada has a vision to enhance research, foster innovation, and to improve the educational experience. And that's why I'm so proud that we've entered into this partnership with CIGI. The CIGI campus reinforces the idea that Canada plays a very important role on the world stage.
With strong partners like CIGI and Wilfrid Laurier University, we will have a great opportunity to explore new, innovating and exciting ways to develop the next generation of public policy leaders.
Well, I think the entire activity around CIGI, BSIA, law school coming in, I think it's going to create a powerhouse. It's going to enable Canada to reach a new level of prominence, preeminence even in the global stage of thinking about public policy and governance. Jim Balsillie's extraordinary contribution and vision have enabled us to achieve this. I'm delighted to be a partner in it.
Well, CIGI has had remarkable success in recruiting top scholars in the last year. In addition, through the public events, it's offered research programs such as INET and the opportunities it provides to master's students through its fellowship program. Working in such proximity to CIGI has given me great access to academic resources and also to programming.
The world is facing some truly extraordinary problems these days. We've seen them in our own lives with the economic crisis in the last few years that has spread from one side of the planet to the other. We know we're facing climate change and energy scarcity, mass migrations from one part of the planet to the other, and things like pandemic diseases. We don't seem to have very good solutions for these problems, especially at the international level. But the CIGI Campus will be a place where people can come together to think deeply about how to solve these problems and develop the ideas for new institutions and laws and organizations that will change the world and make it a very much better place.